Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for attending. We are very delighted to have you all this evening. And thank you for attending the July 9th, 2025 meeting of the Westerville City Schools Board of Education. This evening's agenda will be displayed on the screens here for you to view in front of the room. Printed agendas are also available for our guests, or you may find the agenda on your mobile device, which is available by connecting to the district's website at www.wcsoh.org. Click on the Our District link, select Board of Education, and then follow the Board Docs link to our current meeting agenda. There will be one opportunity to address the board this evening in Agenda Item 5.1. There is a sign-up sheet as well located on the table in the back of the room. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board, and a timer will be shown on the screen. And with that, Ms. Marshall, will you please call the roll?
Mrs. Altman?
Here.
Mr. Hackelman? Here. Mrs. Valentine?
Here.
Mrs. Levian?
Here. We will now rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have agenda item District Highlights and Recognitions, which is 3. We will do both 3.01 and 3.02, but we will begin with, may I have a motion to approve the resolution of commendation for the OHSAA Track and Field State Meets for the 200-meter dash champion, Olivia Menslow.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And at this time, I will invite my colleague Louise Valentine to the podium. May I please have a motion to present the resolution for the 2025 OHSAA Track and Field State Meet.
Mrs. Altman?
Yes.
Mrs. Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Hackelman?
Yes.
Mrs. Levian?
Yes. And at this time, I will welcome my colleague Louise Valentine to present these amazing resolutions. Thank you.
All right, school has been out for well over a month, but we still have awesome awards for students. That's exciting. So tonight we're recognizing students from Westerville Central and Westerville North who earned top spots during the 2025 Ohio High School Athletic Association Track and Field State Tournament, which was June 6th and 7th at Ohio State's Jesse Owens Memorial Stadium. We'll start with members of Westerville Central's track and field team. So we'd like to invite Olivia Mentlow to join us up front. Congratulations. Yes. So Olivia wrapped up her senior year at Central with a state championship in the 200-meter dash. This season, Olivia was undefeated in the 200 meters. That is 9 total races undefeated. She was the 100-meter and 200-meter champion in OCCs, districts, and regionals, and she now owns the school record in the 200-meter dash. That's amazing. She also placed 7th in the 100-meter dash at the state meet. All right, next, Robert Young, can you join us up front? He's not here? Okay. Well, we will still read his accommodation anyway. Robert placed 2nd in the 400-meter dash from Central. Next, we'd like to invite up Simone Smith. Not here either. All still awesome, though. Simone placed 4th in the discus throw. She was off for a year due to injury, but she is now the school record holder for both discus and shot put. Is Skylar Brittman here? All right, we got her. Congratulations, yeah. So Skylar, she placed 6th in the 100-meter hurdles. And then finally from Central, if we could have Audrey Noel, Angel Ward, Maya Blaz, and Tiffany Zulke join us up front. Oh, you're all here. amazing. So Audrey, Angel, Maya, and Tiffany placed 8th in the 4x400 meter relay. All right, let's move on to North. So we would like to invite Casey Carlos, Noah Kemp, Jeffrey Kearns, and Gabriel Wise from North High School to come up. You're representing the group today, huh? All right. Well, these lovely gentlemen were recently recorded for placing 4th in the 4x800 meter race during the indoor state track meet. This time, we are recognizing them for placing 7th in the same race at the outdoor state track meet. So congratulations. So congrats again to these members of Central and North's track and field team and their incredible accomplishments. I do not run, so I do not envy all of you, but great job for running. So we are proud of your dedication, your hard work. Thank you for representing your schools, our district, and this community with your determination. We also want to acknowledge Coach David Mentlow and Coach Johnny Jackson and Athletic Director Andy I from Westerville Central and Coach Nick Horton. Coach Nick Horton and Coach Johnny Jackson from Westerville North, as well as Principal Kurt Yancey and all the family members who are here to cheer on these wonderful young adults. Thank you all.
We will just give folks a moment to exit the room. Thank you so much. Up next, we have agenda item number 4, reports. And so I will turn it over to Superintendent Angie Hamburg to provide some comments.
Thank you. Huge congratulations to all the kids that are heading out. Appreciate everybody coming out on a July evening, and we're super proud of all the kids' accomplishments in track and field this year. Do want to kind of just shift over and provide a quick update on some funding. Nicole's going to assist me on the federal part here. We have been talking for several months about our state funding for education. We were happy to see that the governor had vetoed several of the line items that affected levies and other funding considerations for schools. But we have learned that the House is planning to come back in session on Monday, July 21st, 11 a.m. And they are looking at overriding a few of those areas of the vetoes that the governor made. So specifically looking at item number 55, which is in regards to property tax on the County Budget Commission Authority. We have expressed concerns with this because we are a district that straddles 2 counties. So we have residents who live in both Franklin and Delaware counties, and this item would create a commission where the Franklin County Budget Authority would be making decisions on levies that impact residents in our community that live in 2 different counties. So that would be one that we have a concern with. The next one is the 20 mil floor calculation. That doesn't impact us at this time. And then there is item number 66, which would be placing restrictions on the types of school district property tax levies. And so we've kind of seen a trend over the last several years that puts more and more restrictions on how we're able to secure funding. We have lots of instability in all of our revenue sources, and so it's becoming very, very challenging to kind of keep all those balls in the air when things are constantly changing. So we are encouraging our legislators to not override the governor's veto on those items and would encourage our community to join us in those efforts. In the meantime, we were really surprised to learn there's been lots of talk over the last several months about the U.S. Department of Education
and the potential for losing funding in that area. But we were told that our funding for this school year should be coming through out of what are called our title funds. And these are specific earmarked funds that are intended to enhance services for different areas. And so we have 3 in particular. Nicole has put together a slide for us to just kind of share. These funds were supposed to be released on July 1st. They were already voted on and appropriated by the legislation, or by the legislators at a U.S. federal level. And at the last minute, districts received notification that these were being held. So right now, we're not sure what the status is of these funds, but these are very important dollars that we use in 3 areas. As you can see, the first one is Title III. So here in Westerville, 1 in 10 of our students are English language learners, and these are funds that are used for English language facilitators, translation services, and training for our staff to be able to work with our students and help them as they learn English. Title IV is for student support and academic enrichment. And you can see there we fund a social worker, mental health specialist, training, and software out of those funds. And then that bottom one, Title IIA, these are funds that have been used for years and years for, this title in particular has been around forever, to support instruction. So most of the training that we do, right now we're working on multi-tiered systems of support and getting frameworks in place across our district that's consistent in providing our students with the support they need to be successful academically and socially and emotionally. And we have a lot of training that's planned even over the summer and into next school year that comes out of this title. So as you can see, when you put those all together, we're looking at $919,000 that the federal government has withheld from us that was supposed to be allocated on July 1st. So, you know, this is, as we continue to talk about just the constant instability of our funding, almost $1 million that we have already planned for this upcoming school year, including staff positions, that is potentially in jeopardy. So just wanted to make our community aware of these concerns. You know, if you would like to reach out to your U.S. legislators and express your concern about this, that would be helpful. Nicole, I didn't know if you had anything that you would like to add in regards to our federal funding.
No, I just want to reiterate that these are funding sources that have already been appropriated by Congress. And so when we had, like Angie said earlier, when we had talked about, you know, the Department of Education and what that looks like in the future, the grants and the title funds and all of our federal entitlement grants, we were told that we wouldn't have to worry about that until 27. So there was no conversation about those being potentially taken away from us during 26, which is the year that we're in now. And we learned about this on June 30th, the day before we were supposed to get the allocations. So it's just really disheartening to see that, you know, we've been focused on the state so much, and now we're dealing with it on the federal side too. And so, yeah, we just don't know what's going to be the outcome of this at this point.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Superintendent Hamburg, and providing additional remarks, Ms. Marshall. We are going to move on to agenda item number 5, public comments. The Board of Education welcomes public comment on educational issues of interest to our school community. The board does not discriminate based on the identity or viewpoint of the speaker during her public participation. However, the board president may limit comments that are obscene, abusive, or harassing. In an attempt to protect the privacy interests of our students, the board asks that speakers not identify students by name during their comments. Persons having public complaints about district personnel, programming, or operations will be referred to the process set forth in Board Policy 9130. Finally, the board reminds speakers that their statements should be directed to the board as a whole and not to individual board members. Each member will have 3 minutes to address the board, and a timer will be shown on the screens, and Ms. Dennis will call time when 3 minutes have elapsed. Finally, our first speaker this evening is Mr. Abdi, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced the last name, Isale. Thank you so much for being here.
My name is Hoden. I will be interpreting for Mr. Isaac Ali. He will be speaking in Somali, so I'll just tell you what he has told me. Go ahead.
waxaan ku dhahdaa galab wanaagsan dhammaantiin waa idin salaame mudane iyo marwooyin dhammaan inta meesha isku imaataan salaamantiin ku dheh
Good afternoon. I would like to say hello to all of you.
waxaan ku dhahdaa aabbaan ahay dhowr carruur haysto ilmahayga qaarkood waxay dhigan jireen Westerfield School qaarkoodna jaatarkay dhiganayaan kuwa jaatarka waxaan rabaa inaan soo geeno Westerfield laakiin shalay waa lagu adkeeya ku dheh
I'm a father who have children in the Westerville School District. I also do have children in charter school. Yesterday, I was planning to bring all my kids together to Westerville City School to enroll them so I can have all my family in one district.
application marka waxaa iga dhinaaday maamada ID-geedii iyo ilmaha qaarkood dhalashadoodii iyo ayaa iga dhinaaday markaan keenay soo keen leaders intaas keen leader waan keenay kadib marka office-ka tagay gabadha u xilsaarneeda lagu yeeray koobiga iga baxsatay kadib waxay igu dhaheen waa na soo harassment gareysay waa na soo attack gareysay how waan dhahnay igu attack gareeyay waxay ugu dhahday macnaha uma soo noqotay
Okay, so yesterday I was told, the reason why I went to the enrollment office is because I wanted to bring in some of the documents that was given to me, because I was missing IDs and birth certificates, which then was asked of me to bring to the office, and I did. When I brought the documents to the office, I was faced with hostility at the enrollment office.
waxaa jirta laba cunug aan igu jirin list agreement igu jirin oo la dhahay macnaha kuguma jiraan kuma enrollment gareyn karno waan codso waxaan dhahay please ma la hadli karaa management schoolka oo kale lama hadli karaa
Okay. So when I came there yesterday, I was faced with the person who is in charge of enrolling my children to the school, and the person had said, "Hey, I need document from your landlord that these extra kids are in the household." Unfortunately, I did not put them on the lease at that moment. She said then, I'm going to have to speak to my manager to speak and see what we can do. When she went to her manager, I was faced with so much hostility, and I felt very belittled.
marka maamo weyn ay soo baxday waxay ku dhahtay waxay la soo baxday ay dhahayso ayadoo dhahayso employer-ka harassment gareynaysa aniga waxaan mooday inay igu ciyaarayso waan iska qoslay waan la qoslay waan fadhiyay marka kursigan ku fadhiyay albaabka iga qabatay iga bax geed awday iga dhahday meesha ka bax harassment samaynaysa markay serious tahan arkeen soo istaagay inaan baxan damay si safely aan ku baxo kadib haddana albaabka ku celisay xeerta ku celisay
Okay, so what the manager came out, whomever she said was the manager came to talk to me. When she came to talk to me, she said, "You are harassing my employees. I need you to get out of the office." I was not told why. I didn't understand why. She just looked at me, and I smiled, thinking to myself, what have I done to get this type of treatment?
mana filanaynin taas inay ku dhacayso maadaama aan waalid ahay
That's time.
Oh, sorry.
I knew it was gonna be a quick read.
So in this,
marka
So,
yeah, okay.
Dennis, could you help her?
okay.
Thank you so much for coming. Next, we will move on to agenda item number 6, board meeting minutes. May I have a motion to approve agenda item number 6.1?
So moved.
Or, I'm sorry, to approve 6.1, which is the minutes of the regular Board of Education meeting held on Monday, June 23rd, 2025.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Next, may I have a motion to approve? Oh, we gotta vote. Are there any comments or questions? Thank you all so much. Thank you. And now we will vote.
Mr. Heckelman,
Yes.
Mrs. Valentine,
Yes.
Mrs. Altman,
Yes.
Mrs. Levan.
Yes. Thank you. Now we will move on to agenda item number 6.2, which is to approve the minutes of the special session Board of Education meeting held on Wednesday, June 25, 2025. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved?
Second?
Ms. Marshall? Any comments or questions?
Mrs. Altman,
Yes.
Mr. Heckelman,
Yes.
Mrs. Valentine,
Yes.
Mrs. Levan.
Yes. Thank you. And now we will move on to agenda item number 7, financials for July 9th, 2025. May I have a motion to approve agenda item number 7.1, which is to approve the financial reports and investments for June 2025. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Any comments or questions?
So I will go over this before you guys vote, if that's all right.
Thank you so much, Ms. Marshall.
Thank you. So this month, we are going over the June 30 monthly financial report. So June 30 is the last month in the fiscal year of 2025. So we had, for our general fund, we had year-to-date receipts of $250.2 million, year-to-date expenditures of $292.7 million. I do want to remind the board that those expenditures include the transfers into other funds. That's why you see those so high. And we ended with an unencumbered fund balance in the general fund of $115.9 million. For all funds, we had year-to-date receipts of $391.2 million, year-to-date expenditures of $410.3 million, and we ended with an unencumbered fund balance for all funds of $214.8 million. And that's all I have for that. Are there any questions for me?
Seeing none, Ms. Marshall, please take the roll.
Mrs. Valentine,
Yes.
Mrs. Altman,
Yes.
Mr. Eckelman,
Yes.
Mrs. Levan.
Yes. Thank you. And may I please move on to agenda item number 7.02 to approve the purchases in accordance with ORC 5705.41 and Board Policy 6320. Ms. Marshall, do you have any comments for this item?
Take a motion.
May I please have a motion
So
to
moved.
approve?
Second?
Thank you. Ms. Marshall, do you have any comments?
I do. So these are what we call then and now purchase orders. This is where we have a purchase order that's dated after an invoice date. So in this case, we have one for Westerville South Theater. The invoice is dated March of 2025, but it's not actually for an event until March of 2026, well in advance. So we do have the purchase order in. That was in a different fiscal year, so we weren't able to get a purchase order opened until the new fiscal year on July 1st. So this is really just a formality for the board's approval because it does exceed that $3,000 threshold that we need to pay it.
Thank you. Do we have any comments from board members? Seeing none, Ms. Marshall, please take the roll.
Mrs. Altman,
Yes.
Mr. Eckelman,
Yes.
Mrs. Valentine,
Yes.
Mrs. Levan.
Yes. Next, we are going to move on to agenda item number 8.1 for personnel consent agenda for July 9th, 2025, specifically resignations, which are classified for July 9th, 2025.
Can I suggest we might take these all as one?
Yes.
8.01 through 8.13.
Thank you so much. And may I please have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
All right. Good evening, Vice President Levan, members of the board, Ms. Marshall, and Ms. Hamburg. Tonight's personnel consent agenda includes action items with regard to resignations, retirement, leave of absence, contract status changes, one-time pays, and other employment-related decisions. Additionally, there are 3 MOUs with our 2 OPSI associations tonight. I'd like to recognize Jennifer Knapp as our sole retiree on tonight's agenda. She's retiring after 27 years of service in Westerville City Schools. We appreciate her work with our students, staff, and community, and certainly wish her the best in the years ahead. Within item 8.08, it is my pleasure to have the opportunity to introduce a few members, actually 4 individuals who are recommended to replace administrators who have resigned from the district. First, Letitia Brown. You can give a little wave or stand up there if you'd like. Letitia has been selected to fill the assistant principal position at Walnut Springs Middle School. Ms. Brown joins us from Columbus City Schools, where she served as an elementary assistant principal. Ms. Brown also has been an intervention specialist at the secondary level. She holds a bachelor's degree in education from Kent State University, a master's of arts in teaching from Muskingum University, and a master's in educational leadership from Ohio Dominican University. Sierra Cundiff is recommended this evening to fill a special education coordinator role. Ms. Cundiff comes to us from Reynoldsburg City Schools, where she served as an elementary assistant principal. Ms. Cundiff also has been a secondary math and science teacher, where she had opportunities to work with a co-teaching model with intervention specialists in the classroom as well. She holds a bachelor's and master's degree in education from Wright State University. Additionally, she holds an education administration degree from Ashland University. Also tonight, Maxwell Gunn. Maxwell is recommended to fill the assistant principal role at Central High School. Mr. Gunn joins us from Olentangy Berlin High School, where he worked as an intervention specialist. He earned his bachelor's degree in education from the Ohio State University and a master's in educational leadership from the American College of Education. So, welcome. And finally, Jonathan Stevens is recommended to fill the assistant principal vacancy at North High School. Mr. Stevens, following the lead. Mr. Stevens comes to us from the Early College Academy, where he served as superintendent since 2015. Mr. Stevens also has spent time as a secondary principal and secondary English teacher during his career. He holds a bachelor's degree in education from the Ohio State University and a master's degree in educational administration from Ashland University. So welcome to each of the four of you. Finally, on my list of items here for you tonight, with regard to the MOUs on tonight's agenda, these agreements with our OPC 138 and OPC 719 associations are one-year renewals of current MOUs in place to provide substitute custodian and substitute driver support from members of these unions due to the continual shortage of substitutes in these areas of support. I will point out that any employee providing substitute driver support is required to have all proper licensure of transportation employees. And at this time, I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Seeing as there are none, thank you so much for providing that information.
Mr. Heckelman,
Yes.
Mrs. Altman,
Yes.
Mrs. Valentine,
Yes.
Mrs. Levan.
Yes. Next, we will move on to agenda item number 9, old business for July 9th, 2025. And seeing as there is none, we will move on. Next, we have agenda item number 10, new business, and there is none as well. So we will also move on. We have next agenda item number 11, which we will recommend action standing business for July 9th. We will start with 11.01, out-of-state and overnight field trips. At this time, may I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Good evening. Tonight, I have one overnight field trip for your consideration. The Westerville Central High School cheerleading team would like to attend summer cheerleading camp at Ohio Northern University. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Seeing as no questions on my end, are there any comments? No comments? Well, thank you so much for your time.
Mrs. Altman,
Yes.
Mr. Heckelman,
Yes.
Mrs. Valentine,
Yes.
Mrs. Levan.
Yes. Next, we will move on to 11.02, which is the participation in the Ohio Coalition for Equity and Adequacy of School Funding. Ms. Marshall, may I have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Second?
So this is the Ohio Coalition for Equity and Adequacy. We've been a member for quite some time. This group's been around since before the Dorolf decision. They're actually the ones that supported the whole conversation around equitable school funding starting way back in the early 90s. And this resolution will approve our membership and also the per pupil allocation amount for the EdChoice litigation that the district has been part of for some time now. So it's $1.50 per student, and then the annual dues, coalition dues, is 50 cents per student for that total there, for a total of $2 per pupil in this.
Thank you so much. And next, we will,
We
or
have
I'm
to
sorry, may we please have a motion to vote?
Mrs. Valentine,
Yes.
Mrs. Altman,
Yes.
Mr. Heckelman,
Yes.
Mrs. Levan.
Yes. And next, we will move on to agenda item 11.03, which is the resolution for impracticality of transportation.
So moved.
And may I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Good evening, Vice President Lehman, members of the board, Superintendent Hamburg, and Treasurer Marshall. Ohio Revised Code allows for public schools to determine the impracticality of transportation after considering a number of factors, including but not limited to the cost of providing transportation and the number of students being transported. The Department of Purchasing and Logistics has evaluated each listed private school student per the requirements of Section 3327.02 of the Ohio Revised Code and declared the 8 listed students impractical to transport. Approving this resolution would allow the district to offer payment in lieu of transportation in a manner provided for per the Ohio Revised Code at the rate set by the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce. It is being recommended that the Board of Education approve declaring the listed students impractical for transportation and offering payment in lieu of transportation.
Thank you.
Happy to take questions.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions?
We should have asked him a question.
Well, thank
I'm pretty handy, so.
You
You
did a
are.
great job. Just
Yes,
a
you
reminder
are.
that we are required to either transport these private school
Yes,
students or
just a
provide
reminder.
payment in lieu of transportation.
This is a requirement under the law.
Correct.
so.
Thank you so much. And may I have a motion to vote?
Mrs. Altman,
Yes.
Mrs. Valentine,
Yes.
Mr. Heckelman,
Yes.
Mrs. Levan.
Yes. And next, may I have a motion to, next we will discuss resolution number 1104, authorizing an agreement with Byrne and Jones Construction for the asphalt parking lot restoration project. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Lebon, members of the board, Treasurer Marshall, and Superintendent Hamburg. I'm pleased to present and support this resolution. It's, as you said, it's with, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Byrne and Jones Construction Company. This is for what I would term the summer of 2025 asphalt paving projects. For those that were here last year, we invoked a new scenario and are trying to use dollars a little more efficiently and maximize our future investments. So last year we started actually doing the entire parking lots, case in point ELC, McVeigh, Huber, and others. This is a continuation of that at Walnut Springs, Heritage, and Hawthorne. It's the front lot at all the schools, including parent drop-off and bus drop-off. I would note again, Hawthorne has a rear lot we are not doing, as well as Heritage has a side lot. So again, it's their main front lots for the public and the board. It's a total amount of $299,066. Just to share, Heritage is funded from what's called the Permanent Improvement Millstone account. And I'll defer to the treasurer to expand on that if you have questions on it. But it's money we can use for Robert Frost, Heritage, and North. The remainder, the other two, are being funded from the 04 bond fund, which had parking lot and playground money for utilizing that at this time. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Ms.
What's
Marshall,
the
do you just
millstone
wanna
lot?
Explain to everyone what that is, please. Thank you.
The Millstone is a community authority that has a special assessment that goes to support those specific schools that that community is served by.
Thank you. Are there any additional questions? Seeing none, may I have a motion to vote?
Mr. Heckelman,
Yes.
Mrs. Altman,
Yes.
Mrs. Valentine,
Yes.
Mrs. Levan.
Yes. Next, we have 1105. May I have which is to discuss resolution authorizing change order number 007 to agreement with Miles McClan Construction for the Hanby Elementary School kitchen remodeling project. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Okay, so this is a little different than what you've seen in the past. It's actually what's called a change order. It's number 7. A change order affects a contract whether in time, scope, or dollars. This actually affects all three, just to share. Hanby Elementary, as you know, is a 104-year-old school. So whenever we undertake restoration, we peel open a wall, look below the floor, look above the ceiling. Regardless of all our due diligence before, looking at drawings, walking the building, talking to contractors, talking to our facilities department, there's always the risk of unknown. Unfortunately, we've discovered unknown or altered conditions for that which was planned for, both below the floor and above the ceiling. So in this case, we have to undertake architectural, structural, mechanical, plumbing. There's a plethora of changes that have to happen. The resolution for the change order is for $190,000. We believe if we move forward with this, it will be completed. We have an extension of time. So we talked about scope, talked about dollars. We have an extension of time. We believe we'd be able to occupy and go live just after Labor Day. Just to show, we've already started talks with the food service department, with the principal, with the building department.
Just to be clear,
with the
because
health
we
department.
were able to occupy the school,
You're
we just
still
wouldn't be
to
able to use that
occupy-
part of the
yes,
kitchen.
yes. Sorry if I misspoke.
I didn't want parents to think we were starting school late at Hamby.
Correct. So we have a plan to feed the students in lieu of this new kitchen. We would use the former serving line, which is in the same space. But we also have plans to adequately seat students, give them a healthy meal, and yet still complete the kitchen within that same space safely for all the occupants. Did want to point out, due to the due diligence of the 27 committee on the bond issue, that's where these funds come from. The bond issue the public approved in 2018 had what are called contingency funds for unknown, specific to something like this. So unknown in a historic building. COVID would be an example, dare I say it. Tariffs could be an example. Inflation is an example. So things that you can't predict, but you still do your best to mathematically and scientifically build them into the equation. That was the case here, so I'm happy to say we have contingency dollars in the bond funds to pay for this. We've vetted it with engineers, architects in the city, and we believe this is the prudent course to move the project forward. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much.
Just out of curiosity, what were some of these unknowns? I'm seeing HVAC and structural issues?
Correct. So structural was the floor. It was assumed and believed, based on drawings we already have, in simple terms, that we had dirt and a flat slab below us. We do not. We have remnants of a former theater or a sloped slab that essentially created a condition that we couldn't put things under the new flooring system. So we have a grease trap, we have a floor drain, we have electrical, we have all these different things, and the structural floor that is in there, it's a floating precast concrete floor. Bam. And if you cut any of that, it becomes useless. You have to reshore it, rebuild it. That's why there's significant dollars here. We just can't cut a piece out, put something under it, and patch it. We have to physically rebuild it structurally for its integrity. Above the ceiling is roughly 20 feet tall in the current condition. There was excessive ductwork. So just like in your own home, that rigid ductwork that puts the AC all through your house, we have that above the ceiling. It was known. Unfortunately, there was almost 3 times as much as was known. And the walls, as planned, we were going to go vertical from the floor up to the deck above, but that ductwork's now in the way. So now we have to support ourselves off a rear or back wall in the cafeteria. So it's a structural change. So we're still using the same metal studs you'd see in any commercial building. How and where we're attaching them changed. So one was below floor, one was above ceiling, both hidden, even though we had the drawings. Portions were known, portions were not known before we bid it and started building.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you. And I was just going to only add, obviously, the age of the building doesn't help either. So it's totally common to anticipate these sorts of construction.
Yeah, and yes, thanks for the question. In my career, I've worked on buildings that are 152-year-old at Fort Hays, Columbus City Schools, shout out. And you'd be amazed at what you find, I say, when you peel that onion back, regardless of what the conditions or your known expertise or the drawings or what you see, there's always the risk. Unfortunately, here we had a higher risk maybe than normal, but it's not unknown or unconditional in terms of what we found.
Thank you.
And just to be clear, again, school is opening as
School-
planned at
School is
Hanby.
opening. Sorry if I
Kids.
misspoke. School is opening. We will be feeding the children healthy, nutritious meals
Yeah.
in a safe and open environment with tables for them to sit at.
I was
Yes.
going to say they're still able to eat at tables
Still
in the
able to eat at
cafeteria. They don't
tables.
have to eat in their classrooms or
No,
anything.
they will not be eating
Okay.
at their
So it'll
classrooms.
be similar to what they've done previously.
Correct.
So it's not going to look like a huge change for them. We just aren't making the new improved model until a few weeks. And
Okay.
would also point out that that building had the new entryway, the secure entryway put in, which is part of what caused the shuffling around of some of these kitchen and eating spaces. So part of a bigger picture there, but when it's done, will make a lot more sense on how we function in that space.
Great, thank you.
Not
Yes,
just-
this will bring Hanby in alignment with many of the other elementaries, including, of course, the other peers that we're renovating in terms of Whittier and Hawthorne as well. So the food service will have consistent and standardized equipment, delivery of food, delivery of services, and staffing. This will bring it up to the same level.
And I just feel like it needs repeated. Doug already said this, but this is being funded with the 2019 bonds and the contingency dollars that were built into that budget at the time. So
Thank you so much.
fortunately, we have that. Ready to vote?
Thank you so much. With that, may I have a motion to vote?
Mrs. Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Heckelman?
Yes.
Mrs. Altman?
Yes.
Mrs. Levan?
Yes. Thank you. We will now move into agenda item number 1106, which would authorize an agreement with Johnson Controls Fire Protection LP for the Westerville South High School Fire Alarm Renovation Project. May I have a motion to approve?
So,
So moved.
second.
Okay, so this is for the restoration, or basically the completion of the updates to the fire alarm system at South High School. This time I want to be very clear. The fire alarm system is safe, the building is safe, it currently operates and will continue to operate. What this does is allows us to replace and upgrade what I've termed the legacy devices. For those here and at home, essentially I'm trying to find one here. The horn and strobes you see in most commercial buildings, like this. About a third of the horn and strobes have not been updated in that building. As mandated by the state of Ohio, when you do that much renovation in a school, you have to bring systems up to current standards. So this allows us to complete that task. We're envisioning we'd be done by the end of this calendar year. We'll start very quickly after tonight if approved. We've already got the contractor sitting nearby, if you will. And we would work up until roughly the 9th and then go to nights and weekends. So those at home know we will not be working in the hallways during the school day. Again, the total amount is $445,000, but I'll repeat one more time. We're putting the new system in. So if you walked in the building, you'd eventually see a new device next to an old device. Only when the new devices are 100% functional and tested, we make that portion live and then commence demo and removal of the legacy devices. So there'll be no time that the system's not live and running and the building is safe.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the board?
I know this has been mandated as a part of renovation, but how do these devices function differently?
So the current ones are what you're probably used to. They have a, I'm going to point here, they have the strobe, and then they make a high-pitched sound. The new ones have a digital audio capability. So I'm not going to attempt it, but I am. It could say, there is a fire, please exit the building. There is a tornado, please exit the building. It also allows us, yeah, I know. I'll call Tim up next time to do it for me. That's why, and it also gives us a backup PA system, to be honest with you. So if that went down, this is on emergency power. We could even use it to make announcements. So essentially it has both a digital audio component and also a PA component built into it.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to vote?
Mrs. Altman?
Yes.
Mrs. Valentine?
Yes.
Mr. Heckelman?
Yes.
Mrs. Levan?
Yes. Thank you so much. Next, we will move into board comments. Do any of my colleagues here want to start us off? If anyone has any board comments?
Sure. I'll go first.
Sure. I see ya.
I just want to say congratulations and welcome aboard to all of our new administrators, principals. Glad to have you on board. I also want to say our sole retiree, good luck, and are going to be missed. And also to all of our athletes, again, who did such a great job and showed how great Westerville can be. So thank you to that. The only thing I would add is what was repeated at the beginning. We kind of thought our little budget battle was over, but we were wrong, and we have to continue some of these things. So as it exists now, make sure that you contact your legislators and say, hey, don't remove these line items, and don't. The unfortunate part is until December of 26, is that right, Nicole, that this can actually go up for appeal?
Yep.
Okay,
can-
so this battle can be fought for another year yet, and it wouldn't surprise us at all if they started picking these things off one by one. So pay attention and contact your legislators and say, hey, this has been decided. Please don't mess with this stuff. That would help us and make our job a lot easier. So thank you again.
On the flip side of that, I also want to recognize Governor DeWine for line item vetoing quite a few of the nasty things that were in the budget bill that would have negatively impacted our funds and operations within public schools, not just here, but throughout the whole state of Ohio. So I commend him for doing the right thing and vetoing those. I wish that his colleagues would take note that he's not vetoing things just for funsies. He's vetoing them because they don't make sense for public education. And I think there are some differing opinions for different reason out there, but we will have to stay vigilant, as my colleague said, and continue to contact our legislators, both the state senators and the state House representatives, to make our voices known on that point. I also wanted to congratulate the track and field athletes. Amazing stuff. And I hope all of the teachers and kiddos who are on break are continuing to enjoy their break. I am sorry, but it is halfway over for all of you. So there is already back to school stuff at Meyer.
Well, a lot of that just deserves to be repeated and amplified. Welcome to our administrators. We're really thrilled to have you. It is always such a joy. I mean, our young people do so many amazing things, and just our athletes are incredible. So thanks to those also who mentor them and coach them. And they've already mentioned the state level stuff. I just want to, sort of repoint everyone's attention to the federal dollars that were already appropriated and voted on, but the funds are being withheld. So, reach out. You can ask your Congress people to do their jobs and look into that and assert themselves. So.
Thank you all so much. I too want to echo and uplift everything that was shared tonight. Congratulations to all the new staff that have joined us, and thank you for choosing our district to work here. I'm sure there are so many opportunities, so thanks so much for deciding to make an impact here in Westerville. I also want to congratulate our incredible students on the track and field team, and to all of our students who work so hard. That does not go unnoticed. I also just want to point our attention to the federal piece that Ms. Hamburg spoke about. I think just seeing that some of these title fundings, these aren't just numbers at the end of the day, right? These dollars make an impact to vulnerable students, to staff that deserve professional development opportunities, and just so much more. And so just having to hold our breath and not know what next will look like is deeply concerning, but I will continue to monitor that and work with our colleagues here to ensure that we are amplifying the need to continue to monitor all of these efforts, both at the local and at the, at the state and at the federal level. And finally, I just want to thank you all again for being here today, and to everyone who spoke. And with that, I want to thank you all, I guess, for being here this evening.
I forgot something. Can I jump
Go
back
ahead.
in?
Yes,
We
please
didn't
jump
really
on
get
in.
a good formal chance to acknowledge this, but I want to thank everyone on the board, and especially Nicole and the superintendent for their incredibly hard work in moving this budget forward in the best interest of all Ohioans. It was a huge lift right from the get-go, and they poured their heart and soul into it, and the community mobilized behind them. And I just want to say thank you, because that does not go unnoticed. I know the battle's not over, but the war's not over, but the battle was won, which will take the small win. So I know I say that on behalf of everyone, but we were short last time, and I want to make sure that you were noticed for that. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, before we wrap up, I would like to go into agenda item 13.1. The board will meet in a work session on Friday, July 18th, 2025 at 8 a.m. at the Early Learning Center, and in special session on Monday, July 21st at 6 p.m. at the Early Learning Center located at 936 Eastwind Drive, Westerville, Ohio, 43081. And next, we will move into item number 14. We will adjourn. So again, thank you all so much. May I have a motion to
So moved.
conclude? Thank you so much.
Mrs. Valentine,
Yes.
Mrs. Altman,
Yes.
Mr. Heckelman,
Yes.
Mrs. Levan.
Yes,
We are adjourned. You can hit your gavel.
we are adjourned.
6:51.